Hi everybody. So welcome to the first mug of 2024. So I can see there's a few familiar faces. But for those who are new, I will be your host. My name is Amy and I'm part of the customer success team. So the monthly user group allows us basically to showcase new features that have been released by Monday. So sometimes it will be us ourselves here on the success team that will be presenting and hosting, and there could be some special guests that we have from Monday as well. And then sometimes we may be able to have our own Monday gurus from the consultancy team join us. So today, as I said, it's myself and my colleague Candy, who is also on the success team.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Perfect. So this session will take approximately 30 minutes, depending on the questions. So as some of you know, the releases are made from the feature releases are made either bi-weekly or monthly. So we're going to try and cover these in this session, and I'm going to delve into WorkForms today. And some changes that have been done within permissions. So it's an open discussion, so you can feel free to pop any questions into the chat box if you want, or you can just if you open your camera, then we can have an interaction then. This is going to be recorded, and which we will send to you after, and there is also going to be a survey. I think, Leticia, are you going to include it in the chat? And this will also be sent through to you because we would love to have your feedback. Perfect. Okay. So I think we can get started. Just give me one moment. I'm just going to swap my screen around. So as I said, what I'm going to cover today is WorkForms. So WorkForms have been around for a long time. However, there has been improvements. There's always actually improvements being made in them. So there's two ways. So yeah, so sorry. So for those of you who haven't used them before, they can be used as, say, an order form, a creative form. Mainly what I would use them for would be surveys. So WorkForms can make good things for made for feedback, data collection, and then requests are just all made super easy through a form as well. And so it's basically the easiest way to get the correct information, the specific information that you're looking for from someone. So there's two ways that you'll be able to access a form. So you can either go into a board. So this is the board that I have created. You can create a form from here by adding a view and clicking on form here. And then this will generate a form to have all the same information that you have already on your main table, which is quite handy. But what I usually do and what I'm going to do today is just create a new form, create one from scratch. So what I'm going to hang on to that is just to add it from my workspace, and by clicking in here, new form. And so from here as well, so this here is basically your new form. You're going to edit that. And you can see here from the top table that you've got your results, your response viewers, and then the main table, and then this here being your main table being the form. So we click on edit form. And as well, so you can see it's more customizable. You can upload a logo actually here. So I'm just going to pop in the new, say, Monday logo, and you can pop in, and that didn't load, so it's just taking its time. You can pop in your own company logo in here, which is quite good. It's customizable the whole way down, so you can adjust the names of the questions. You can add a description into it as well, and that won't impact the existing columns that's on your board. And within the settings then, so if we were to add within the question settings, you can actually make this a required question. So therefore it would ensure that the person who's answering these questions can't actually submit the form without that particular question being answered, which I think is quite important when you're looking again for that specific information from people. So this here will also allow you to, so say if you have the type of question that you have. So say if we were to add a question here and put it in as, we were to add a question and put it maybe as a single or multi-select answer. So within that, then you have this option of including a condition. So say if you wanted say if you were, say, doing a survey, or say if you were doing a request on what type of food people like. And then if so, say if somebody was maybe a vegetarian, or they had an allergy, was quite popular one. If they have an allergy, then you can include a condition on that. So say if you were to say allergy, so then you can include your condition on here, and then add in on that condition a short text, and somebody can fill in here exactly what it is that allergy would be. So that's quite informative, and it's again a good way to get that that specific information that's needed. So you can add and adjust. You can move your questions above and below. It used to be that you have to drag and drop, but now you've got a new order where you can actually just pop them in, move the questions here by arrow, which is a lot easier to maneuver around the form. And then from over here, you can customize. All forms are totally customizable, so you can add a different background. You can change the color of them. Yes, you can make it exactly as you want to be received by the people that you're sending it through to. And as well, then you can form the alignment, you can change the font, and then you can change the alignment of where the direction it's going to be in. So going from here, this is basically how they'll view it, and then you can customize it in here. So this is the welcome sheet, so you can change this here. So this here is, if you want, you can have this on a form once they have it received. You can change this to like click me instead of having your start. So it's fully customizable with the different views of how it's been received, your submission view, your thank you screen. I personally like to have this little trophy at the end because it kind of lets me know like we've completed. You can also hide your success image, and you can also hide the Monday button, which I'm just trying to see where that is at the moment. Okay, so I'll come back to that part. But one of the more important things as well that I find in the customization of this is that you can actually make this form anonymous. So therefore the person sending in the form, you won't actually, as a receiver, you won't know who it is. So it can be fully anonymous to them, which depending on the reason why you're sending it could be quite handy as well. You can schedule a close date as well. So there's lots of different customizations that you can make in there to your preference. Next, then, if we move on of how we can share it. So you can share the link by shortening your URL, and you can copy that link and then send it out within an email, or as you can see here, it's fully shareable on social media as well, which is quite good. And analyze, so there would be no analytics, we'll say, on this because this is just a brand new form, but I can show you in a moment on a different form that I've created. Some analytics that will come through, but in here is where you'd see like the summary, the responses, and it's just an overview basically of all the analytics associated to that form. And then Monday's favorite feature would be the automation of it. So when a form is submitted, you can notify yourself, you can notify a team, and then via any of the other channels that you have integrated with Monday as well. So there's plenty of other automations that you can actually set up with this, and it just makes everything a lot easier. You'll know exactly when a form is submitted so that you can action anything that you need to from there as well. And then of course, always make sure that you preview your form before it goes out. And then you'll be able to see exactly what way it's going to be received by someone. So yeah, that there would be the overall that I have for now with forms. Now, the reordering I've gone through as well, there is two things that has come up that's in the roadmap. So one of them would be that your form can now be password protected, which is quite good. So that's in the roadmap. I'm not sure when it's going to be released. The other thing that is quite interesting and cool is that you're going to be able to duplicate your questions. So that's another feature that I've even come across this week. I had somebody asking me about that. So that's another cool feature that's going to be released sometime soon. It is in the roadmap, but again, I'm not too sure when. It will be released. Is there any questions on the form just before I move on?
Yes, there is one from Unveiled. So she's asking if there is a way to add sessions to the form. Example, part 1 with a description and of the next step of the question, and part 2 with a description, etc.
I'm trying to see because I can't see the question out in writing.
Yeah,
It's harder for me to understand.
I think so when you're explaining part 1, it will be like a description of what the next questions are going to be. Is that what you're asking? Like a title of that section, right?
I can explain, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, a lot of our surveys that we do in SurveyMonkey they're very long. They require section topics. So for, say, the next set of 10 questions, if there was just an option to have like a text box or something to write a description and maybe a title of the next set of questions, that would be incredibly useful if that isn't already a thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's a thing now in Monday. So Amy, so take an example, like if you're trying to describe different types of rooms, right? So the first part of the room is the kitchen. So you have the kitchen, and then the next questions, and then the next session is like the bedrooms. So I don't think we can do that at the moment, but it's actually a really good feature to have, and it's competitive compared to what other systems do. So what we can do, we can raise a ticket with Monday and see if it is actually in the roadmap or if it is going to be,
Yeah, absolutely, because it is. I think that even though we have got a lot of like has been a lot of improvements on WorkForms, there still can be a whole lot of more improvements as well. So I think it's important that we bring all of the ideas and anything that it's kind of not anything that it is missing to Monday, because again, like there's so many improvements made that they can. It's how's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? It's not something that we can't do that won't be able to be added in. It's just that there at the moment. Did Gus, did you have a question?
I did, thank you. One of the things that I'm looking to do with these forms is to link them to boards. So if somebody submits a form, then it can be linked back to something else on another board. So that I can see a list of items in that board and who has submitted and who hasn't. I appreciate that you have an automation there where you can send an email to someone to say so-and-so has submitted, but is there a way to take that automation one step further and link it to a board of items?
So when someone submitted the form, right? So you want that specific answer or submission linked to a particular item in another board?
Correct.
Yeah. And do you only need the link of the form, or you need to have some questions from the form reflecting in the item?
No, just the link.
Just the link. There is no automation that do that, Amy? I'm not completely...
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I do it so instead of having the information of like this, so this is a form. The information could be uploaded through here, but you actually want a link of the form within one of the columns. Would that be right?
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't think there is a automation created for that. That's when someone submitted a form that links to a specific item, depending of the information that you need to link into there. What we can do is have a separate call with you and then see if we can find a way around it. And if there is no way around, we always can do an integration, so a custom integration that trigger that specific action that you need.
Great. Can you send me an invite after this meeting then?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. As Candy said, we'll try and if there's something that if it isn't possible, I'll have a look, take it offline, look at the automations that we currently do have, and then we'll see if there's a workaround that we can do for you.
We have another question before we move forward from Morgan is, do the users submitting a response need to have access to Monday? No. They only need the link to the form. And so anyone outside the organization or outside the Monday account can submit, can fill out the form as well. Yeah.
So it's great to be able to put it onto like your website or something like that. So, or at the end of a feedback form from your clients, it's really handy. They don't have to have any access really. They just have to have the link, and it's great to get that feedback from them. Perfect. Okay, so I will move on. So it's just two small things that I kind of wanted to show you guys. I'm not sure if you're aware of them, but I just thought they were quite handy. So the first one would be that you can lock your sub item view, which I wasn't aware of until a while ago. So here is, you can see my boards, okay. So say this is my sub items, and if I don't want all of my sub items viewable, so in order to do this, you can click into hide columns, and then if you scroll down and actually say if I want to hide the phone number, I can hide that there, which we weren't able to do previously. And then not to forget to always save as a new view. And then once we save that new view, say no phone, we can also lock that view then as well, which is also a new feature, which I thought was quite cool. So this is just, for, I'd say for a cleaner view on the boards for yourself, a cleaner view for the boards for your team members as well. So there was just two things that I wanted to show you that I thought were quite handy. So that would be it from me. Candy, I'm going to hand it over to yourself because there's a few cool things that you're going to show.
Thanks. Yeah. So I think I know a few people from here, but if I don't, so my name is Candy and I'm part of the CS team as well. And today I'm not going to show you new features, kind of the opposites. I'm going to show you something that has been there for ages. But we get a lot of questions from customers on how to use it. And that's the connected board column, which is really important when you're creating multiple boards and you have like a high level board and low level boards, but you want to keep them connected to your high level board to not miss information and to have like an overview of what is happening in your low level board. So we're going to show you how to do that, okay? So you're going to share my screen. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you only need a few steps. It's very simple, although people get very confused with it. So I'm going to go step by step, okay? So first you have to create your high level board and low level boards, okay? So when you are in the process of creating your processes, then you have here, I have my high level board, right? And then my low level board. In this case, my high level board, and I'm just going to give an example so you understand the terminology, is where I get a project, I get a campaign, if it's marketing, if it's PMO, if I get a project approved or opportunity, it goes everything to my high level board, okay? So here I'm going to track who is the person assigned to this, who are the teams I'm going to assign to these specific projects, and it goes to approval, okay? And I have some deadline and some files in here and budgets, which is the general information that I need for my high level board or my manageable board, okay? So then I have low level boards, which are teams. So team 1 and team 2, and they all have different structures in the board. So team 1 have this structure, and then team 2 have a completely different structure, okay? So what happened in my high level board is that when a task or a project or anything in the item gets approved, I'm going to send a team to this, and that specific task I want to duplicate it to the specific team, okay? And I want to connect those boards to my high level board, okay? So the first step, and I'm gonna show you, I think I moved things here, just 1 second. So this is the first step. So you create your high level board and low level board. And your second one is that you're gonna create the connect board column in the high level board first, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to do that. So I have here my high level board, and I'm gonna create a new column, which is connect boards. And that is going to tell me, select the boards that you want to connect to this, okay? So I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to select my team 1 and my team 2, okay? And it's very important that here in the very, very last part of the square, I have to click in create two-way connections, okay? Because I want them to talk to each other. So I'm going to click in here, I'm going to create my columns, and then it's asking me to create mirror columns, which I'm going to show you how to do it later, okay? Okay, so I have connecting those boards. So if I go and check in my team one, you're going to see that it creates a new column that is connected to the high level board, and the same for the team two, okay? Perfect. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to change the title of this, and I'm going to call this board. Okay. Okay. So once I have that connection, I'm going to create a automation, okay? So I'm going to go and show you here. So I'm going to search. So before I create the automation, I need to make sure what is going to trigger that duplication of that specific item to the different boards in here. So in my case, is when status change to approve, okay? So I'm going to go here and I'm going to choose the status change. And then because I know what it is, I'm just going to scroll down. And I'm going to choose this automation, which is when a status changes to something, and only if a status is something, create an item in another board and connect the boards with the column, okay? So we're going to do that together. So we're going to fill out this information, and when a status of the approval status is approved, and only if the team owner is team one, then I'm going to create an item, and it's going to tell me that I need to select the board first, okay? So I'm going to type level 4. Oh, no, sorry. I'm going to type team. So team 1. So I'm going to create this one, and I'm going to create an item in that board, okay? So it's telling me that you can actually populate this information, but really what I want is just the name of the task, okay? So I'm just going to choose that, and I tell you why. So I click down in here, and then I'm going to connect 4 boards. And I'm going to choose the connect column that I already created, which is called task. And I create the automation, okay? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to show you the magic. So you have task 1, which is assigned to team 1, and I'm going to approve it. So that's the trigger of the automation. So you're going to see that it's going to create a new task in this board, and it's telling me here. And then it's going to link to the task, okay? So I just want to refresh. And I'm going to go here. Sorry, 1 second. So here it is. So my task 1, which is, sorry, it moved because I have another automation. Where did you say it? I have another automation that when it's approved, move it to approve. So this is my task A, which is approved, and then is linked to my task, okay? So now I can see that it duplicates that to my board, which is here. And then I can work on it. So the teams now have the task, and they can, have comments and create different things in there. But for example, if there is information, the high level board that is important for me in the teams, I'm going to create a mirror column, okay? Because now I have the connection between the 2 boards. Now I want to mirror information from the high level board, which is important for me to see, for example. So I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to choose that I want to see the file because I need to see what is it about that project, okay? So you're going to see that it's bringing me that specific file that is in my high level board in here. Okay, so now I'm mirror because they're connecting to each other. So I'm going to make sure that I change the name of this, and then it's called files. But then as well, I want to see the budget because I need to know how much money we have to spend in here, right? So I'm going to create another mirror, clicking here, and then choose that information, which is the budget information. Okay, I want to see the sum, and you can see it in here. So now the 2 boards work together, and I can actually start adding more tasks and then selecting the different teams. So this can be work as delegating tasks to different teams, or it can be as well as a PMO. For example, your high level board is when you get the projects, okay? Once that project is approved and have all the people assigned to it, then you want to create a new board with the name of the project, which require another automation, and that will link to the high level board. But it's really important to know how to set up the connect boards and the automation to work that out. And yes, that's all I wanted to show you today. Do you have any question?
One second, I'll just double check. Is there a restriction on the number of low-level boards that can be connected to the high-level board?
Yes, there is. I think you can actually put 100 boards, or we can get back to you, but yeah, there is a
let me double
restriction.
check that. Thanks,
In the
Trudy.
high, in this one in here, you have a restriction on how many boards, and I think it could be, if I'm not wrong, 100 boards.
We'll double check that for you though, Trudy, and I can come back to you.
That's great. Thank you very much.
No problem. Any more questions? There doesn't seem to be any in the chat. You explained it all too well, Candy.
or maybe it looks a little bit complicated, but I think this is what makes Monday. Okay, so you can have multiple boards running around in different workspace, but if you don't connect them, and even if you're working with different teams, at some point you have to connect those boards to bring information to the high level board. Okay, so if you haven't gone through that process, it's really important that you do, because this is what's, the magic of Monday. And it's really important as well that if you are having difficulties how to work this out, you can get in contact with us, because that's what the customer success managers are here for. So if you want to show us your process, and then you want to tell us, how can I communicate, how can I connect these different boards to talk to each other, so every team have the right information, okay? And we can help you with that. We don't have to cover all the questions here, but just send us an email, and we can, have a call with you and show you how to do it specific to your use case.
Perfect. And Samantha, I seen there you reached out just to ask for a step-by-step in that process. That's no problem. We can send that through to you as well. Perfect. So we're just about coming to the end of the presentation. And I think if there's no more questions, if there is any other questions, though, you can reach out, as Candy said, to either of us or anybody on the success team, and we'll be happy to come back to you. But thank you everybody for attending today. And as I said at the start, there would be, oh, sorry, Trudy, you have another question just before I go?
Yeah, I would love to access this recording after. It's great content, but I'm almost guaranteed to want to revisit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just what I was going to say.
Thank you.
The marketing team, Leticia, is going to kindly send that out to you guys. And also, as I said at the start, there will be a survey, so we'd be delighted if you'd be able to fill that in for us as well. So yeah, that's us that's us.
And I think we have another webinar coming up soon as well. Yeah.
So I don't think the details on that, the date on that has been fully decided as yet, but there is going to be one coming up soon. So hopefully all you guys can attend that as well.
Yeah. And thank you so much for joining the call.
Brilliant. Thank you guys. Thanks, Candy.
Bye-bye.